What's going on, guys? It's Dill here from the Yakuza, bringing you a My Hero Academia discussion today. I'm really excited because we're about to enter a new arc, and I have a pretty good idea about what this arc's going to be. I think a lot of people do, so I just want to get right into it. The second I saw Deku in that coma, things just started going through my mind, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. So I'm just going to lay out to you guys what I think this next arc is going to consist of. I'm just going to get straight to the point. I think the next arc is going to be centered around, of course, other characters in the series, because there's been a problem, I think, in My Hero where the power escalation is getting too much. Like, Deku is getting too strong too fast. He's just leagues ahead of his peers, his competitions. He's already one of the strongest people in the series. He has multiple quirks. It's insane, especially with the last fight he had against Shigaraki. So I think that this needs to be a period where the story and the rest of the characters can catch up, flesh out, and just slow him down a little bit. And I think that Horikoshi had this planned all along. So kind of how I think the layout of this arc is going to be is we have Deku in a coma, all right? And we have All For One amassing an army of villains. And I think that towards the end of the arc, I think there will be some build up and things, but I think at the end of this arc, the climax of the arc will be All For One going to retrieve One For All in Deku's most vulnerable state, because with Deku being in a coma, if they find that out, I mean, we all know that All For One wants One For All back. Like, he wants it back. And why not take it now when Deku literally can't fight back? So they'll put Deku in some kind of safekeeping place. They won't keep him in the hospital. They'll put him somewhere far away, somewhere like deep. But with All For One's quirk, like search how he found his own body, they're gonna find Midoriya, and then we're just gonna have this battle royale, this gauntlet of the entire hero society keeping that army of villains that All For One is amassing right now away from Deku. And peak fights in it I see being like his classmates, of course, the rest of Class 1A really getting their shine. We'll see Bakugo fight someone really strong, and we'll see Todoroki fight Endeavor, Todoroki fight. We'll see Todoroki fight Dobby. Um, and I really think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be really emotional, and it's really going to show how much everybody cares about Midoriya and everything that he has done for them. And I think it will end up with him waking up. And keep in mind, during this entire time, I think that Midoriya is going to be training in his mind in the Vestiges. I think he's going to be communicating with the past users of One For All, and they're going to inform him on how to move forward with his quirks, how to use his quirks, how to use Danger Sense and Black Whip and Float. And I think that he is actually going to have a training arc that we will see that is just in his head, like Avatar State, Avatar The Last Airbender type things. So that's really where I think this is going to go. And yes, I think the last second, I think after everybody falls, I think the last thing that will happen is Midoriya waking up and confronting All For One or Shigaraki and just really saving the day. I do think that this might be the point that All Might dies as well. I think it's possible that All Might will have that one. I've always thought that he's gonna have one last belief, because we've seen him training, we've seen him running and like getting in shape and everything. I think he's going to use One For All one last time, like a minute of muscle form left to hold off, and he will just die a devastating, gruesome death like Night Eye foresaw. So, and then maybe he will appear in the Vestiges with and talk to Midoriya, and that'll be what wakes Midoriya up or something like that, because with the Vestiges, when All Might's dead, he's always going to be able to communicate with Midoriya. We know that Midoriya will never truly lose All Might in that sense. We know All Might's going to die, Night Eye foresaw it, but he will still be there the entire series, kind of like Star Wars-esque with Obi-Wan coming back as a Force ghost to talk to Luke and everything. So yeah, that's really where I think this arc's going to go. What do you guys think? Comment down below if you agree with me and everything. I'm trying to think of some more obvious one-on-ones, but it really could go any direction as far as, and there's so many characters in My Hero Academia that needs fights. We got Class 1A, Class 1B, Shinso, the teachers, the pro heroes Mirko and everybody. So many important characters. So, and there's also so many villains that are being amassed right now. So many Nomu. So I could really see a lot of group fights. I could see Sero and Ashido both fighting a Nomu, or both maybe not a Nomu, but both fighting a villain that's like really strong, like maybe 2-on-1 fights to get like more fights in there, you know, because they still are students. They're not pro heroes yet, so it's really not. It really wouldn't be that big of a deal to see them win in situations that are 2v1s. It would help them grow, and eventually we could see them get 1v1s. And there's just too many characters in this series for them all to get 1v1s. But I think this arc is brilliant. I think it's brilliant on Horikoshi's part. I did not like how fast Midoriya was getting strong. I mean, you guys might disagree with that, and that's fine, but I just thought his power escalation was just a bit too much. So by putting him in a coma, and this will, and you guys know, anybody that watches this channel knows that I'm a huge Bakugo fan. He's my favorite character, and we saw how emotional he was about Midoriya being in a coma. So he has came so far with his development and everything. I think this might be just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top of him maybe being the last person standing between Tomura and Deku, and him being on the brink of death fighting Tomura and just getting whooped but still just getting back up, and then Midoriya stepping back in and being like, yo, it's okay, you know, you're my best friend, let me take this now, thank you. And the relationship like really finally being healed. Of course, we don't want him to die or anything, but like that's just where I think it's gonna go, guys. I see it happening like that. Like, why would this is the perfect moment for All For One to go retrieve One For All. This is the perfect moment. He has the resources. There's so many villains being amassed right now. We're in a much worse situation. We were in a really bad situation in this war. Like, the heroes were effed. But now, this is even worse. This is even worse. I don't know. I think that at the beginning of the arc, there will be like a couple months of All For One really, because he's more of a calculated dude. He's not just like Shigaraki just wants to destroy the entire world, and he'll just do it now. But All For One's like, you know, I'll wait a couple months and I'll come in with the most perfect plan that will 100% succeed. But I think that we're gonna have 2 or 3 months of characters training, doing more pro hero things, being more in the field, and then we will get like powered up Bakugo, Todoroki, other classmates, Mirio, and just this battle, this gauntlet between the villains and Midoriya. And it's just like, we're gonna see bloodshed, we're gonna see more people dying, we're gonna see maybe All Might die, and it's gonna be great, guys. I'm really excited for this next arc. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with me. Like the video if you enjoyed this, and hit the notification bell if you would like to join the Yakuza. Thanks, guys.